Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about a movie I saw yesterday called The First Purge. You've probably heard of the Purge series of movies. This one was the fourth in the series called of movies based on The Purge. Real quick synopsis: the concept of the Purge movies is that every year there's a night, 12-hour span, in which crime is legal. In fact, so in that sense, there is no crime, murder, rape, all these things perfectly legal, and it is apparently to give the American people the ability to purge the hatred and anger out of their systems, and to be able to do that just over a certain amount of time to reduce crime the rest of the year. I have not seen any of the other Purge movies. I saw this one basically on a whim, and I've always liked the concept of the Purge as a horror slash thriller slash whatever movie. I always liked the concept of this 12 hours, but I never really thought they looked good enough to see before this one. Well, this one I didn't. I just saw it more of like an out of curiosity. And what I'll say is that I was kind of pleasantly surprised. It wasn't good. I wouldn't say it's a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. What I will say is that it was surprisingly restrained for a movie based on this concept, especially for the fourth one in a series, when the whole idea of a purge is like already known by the audience. So this one, I feel like by this point they would just be all out, guns blazing, murder everything, super violent, and this was very restrained. The actual conceit of this movie, the fourth one, is it's a prequel, and it's the story of the very first purge, in which they close off Staten Island in New York City, and the purge only happens there, and it's this social experiment to see what would happen. Throughout the movie, you follow a couple characters and how they deal with the purge. It was, like I said, surprisingly restrained, and I was actually kind of disappointed by that. This is a movie in which I feel like the more crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top action you get, the better. These are definitely like B-C-list movies that you would see in the depths of Netflix, or something you would see on, I don't know, some movie channel on TV, a cable movie channel or something, but only in the middle of the night when they got nothing else that that anybody wants to watch. We'll just throw this on. It's what it felt like. You'd see it in the $5 bin at Walmart, along with Purges 2 and 3 with it, just because it's not very good, but they can get it away with selling it for $5. That's what this movie felt like. And it felt like it should be that, is what I'll say. But it didn't really go far enough to be that. It tried to, at the same time as be a ridiculous action purge movie, it also tried to comment on some of society's ills that are similar to today. The beginning of the movie opens with a country that's kind of being ravaged by poverty, but also opioid addiction, and it talks about how apparently this new political party took over, and they're the ones responsible for trying this out. And they also introduce Marissa Tomei in this movie. I was baffled as to why Marissa Tomei would be in this before I saw it, and after watching it, I still am. She seems far too, especially for being in the Spider-Man movies now, she's far too, like, high above this movie, it felt. And it was weird because her character didn't really do anything throughout the movie. Her story arc was basically, I created the Purge as an experiment, and then that she gets, I won't spoil it. It's very abrupt, her character leaving, and in a disappointing way, or a baffling way, really. Why did they pay for Marissa Tomei to be in this movie? Anyway, aside from that, this movie should have had more ridiculous action. Should have been more crazy. Should have been more chaotic, or I don't know, like a Mad Max Fury Road is one of my favorite movies, and I love how seriously it takes how ridiculous its storylines are, or its visuals are, with all the war boys and all that, crazy big vehicles and all of that. I really wish this movie did something more similar, It had the characters wearing the masks, and it had like some neon party scenes, and it had like very brief flashes of these like crazy denizens on Staten Island during the Purge doing their crazy ridiculous thing. It needed more of that. It was surprisingly restrained in both a good and bad way. Uh, it had a very good build into the descent into madness that the Purge would be, but it also didn't get there till well into the movie, and it needed to have more of that. It could have built a little faster to what the audience is there to see. So I respect them for not just trying to be a crazy, ridiculous movie, but at the same time, it could have been a more crazy, ridiculous movie and been better for it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's hard to wrap my brain around. All of that being said, it really wasn't great. It was fine, I suppose. It was better than I expected. It needed more of what it built slowly to do. And if it's going to try to comment on some of the social issues, none of that really took. After the first couple minutes, none of that really was part of it. It had a lot to say about race, or it could have had a lot to say about race and about how we treat, as a society, the lower income class of people, and how drugs can tear apart society, all these things, but it didn't really do much of that. I don't have much else to say about it. Again, it's not really worth watching unless you get it in a $5 bin of Purge movies, or if you love bad horror action movies. But this really wasn't ridiculous enough to even really be in the category of a Jason X, or something that's just so ridiculous that it's fun to watch. This could have been like a Leprechaun movie, Leprechaun to the Hood. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like the 5th in the Leprechaun series, and it just knows completely what it is and does not take itself seriously at all. This could have taken itself less seriously and been better for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next time here on Fox Reviews. If you thought First Purge was better than I thought it was, let me know why. If you think any of the other Purge, tell me about the other Purge movies, if I should watch them, if they're better. Because again, I like the concept. I think it's a simple premise that could lead to a lot of great, or at least interesting, action, horror, thriller movies. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.